What's going on, everybody? I hope you all are having a good day, a good week so far. We're going to jump right into it on this video. Today is November 11th, 2025. And you know how we're going to do it. We're going to start off with devotional. So this is what I have. With regard to the things that have gone awry, you can make adjustments, but it will be better but it will be to your advantage to wait a little longer before you make any decisions about correction. Things are not always as they seem. Exercise patience and endurance. Hebrews 10:36 says you need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what he has promised. The Bible also talks about that the reward will be given to the ones who endure into the end. Um, Man, it's a lot in that. And I'm gonna be quick. So I just want to encourage you guys as well as myself that even when things are difficult, and I'm talking about like our walk with God, like man, we have so many problems and downfalls, and we have so many um how can I say flaws basically. And a lot of times, not a lot of times, but sometimes it may feel or seem like why even continue? Like why even continue trying to, walk this walk because I keep messing it up in every way possible. Well, we have to persevere and we have to remember that God's grace is still sufficient for us. Like even when we fall short, His grace is still sufficient. He still loves us. He still loves you. He still loves me. We're imperfect. And we say that all the time. And, we just go on about our business. We're imperfect. Yeah, we're imperfect. But man, it's tough. It's tough when you're trying to, strive for perfection, strive to be Christ-like, and you fall short every day. That's tough. But have patience and continue to endure. And we will receive that reward in the end. This also translates over to trading. Um, Things could go awry. Like we can have our analysis down to the T. We can have our levels set, and the play could still go in the opposite direction. Not that the play is no longer valid, but it could just go in the opposite direction for a short period. And we've seen that. We saw that with Lyft, right? If you've been rocking with me, we saw Lyft. Lyft was up to $26 pre-market about 3 weeks ago. And then it crashed all the way down to like $19. And then it came up to $22, and then it came back down to 19, and then it hovered around 20. And if you got in with me, you got in around 20. And then we got out at 22. And then it went back down and we got in again. And so things are going to change. So we have to be patient. We have to be patient. That's why I put contracts out for you guys 6 months, out, maybe some are 3 months out, but really trying to go for that 6 month range. And I'm just trying to tie all of this in so it's practical. But the point is, we have to exercise patience and we have to persevere. That's in everything. That's in trading. That's in our walk with the Lord. That's in our careers, in our marriages, in our friendships, and our relationships. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys. It also says you can make adjustments. You can make adjustments. And one of the adjustments that I talked about in the last video was that if Carnival was to fall below 2668, which it did not, it held 2668. I believe that's the number. I'm doing this off the top of my head. Um, it held it. But if it would have come down, we would have had to make an adjustment. We would have had to have bought puts to kind of protect us so that we're not overexposed. Or we would have to go ahead and get out of that contract and wait for another level so we could buy back in, make an adjustment. So, yeah, just wanted to encourage you guys. this is going to be this has been and will continue to be a fun ride. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's go ahead and go to the charts. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and start with lift. All right. Let's go ahead and look at the daily. Zoom this out a little bit. All right, guys, you see it. You see it. You see the levels. This was our level to buy. Okay. They crashed the market, like I said. All right. They crashed the market from here all the way down to about 1971. All right. We went up, they rejected the level, and then boom, retested the level. And after it retested, boom, it broke that previous level. All right. All the way through, man. So we are looking good now. We are headed to 2686. And I've been saying this. I've been saying we're going to 2686, and then I said we're going to 3153. All right. So trust me, we may get us a pullback, but I don't think so. I don't think so, guys. I think tomorrow we go to $26. So be ready. Be ready to take profit, man. I know you guys are working. I'm working as well. So what you got to do, man, is you got to wake up early. You got to make these sacrifices. You got to get up early before you go to work. You got to check the charts. All right. We're only in two plays. All right. We're looking at Lyft and we're looking at Carnival. You can also look at the SPY. I haven't been talking much about the SPY, but I usually look at the SPY because when SPY is at a area of interest as far as a critical level that we have marked off, we will see price react at those levels. And when we see price react at those levels, it's going to move across the charts. And what I mean by that is if SPY has a green day, then Lyft, Uber, Carnival, Apple, Amazon, all of those stocks are going to have green days 90% of the time. If SPY has a red day, then all of those stocks are going to have red days, typically. All right. So that's just another indicator that we can use. It doesn't mean that it's going to be a big day or, in either direction all the time. But if it depends on the level. If you have a level on Lyft and you have a level on the SPY and price reacts on the SPY, you're going to see price reaction on your plays in those stocks. If you have price reacting or if you have price falling to a specific level. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so anyway, um, that's Lyft, man. Lyft is looking good. So if you're in Lyft, guys, just hold it. Just hold it. I missed out on the last one. I feel really bad. And if for anybody who got out of Lyft, when I got out at 20%, I apologize. Um, I should have been a little bit clearer. If you had runners or you had multiple contracts, um, you definitely should have held on to at least one. I'm not going to talk about that too much. I talked about it in the last video, so go back and watch Monday's video. And please excuse the background noise. I'm in a hotel room, so I got air vents and all kinds of stuff happening right now. But anyway, um, let's move on. Carnival. All right, so I talked about Carnival. I talked about how um we could possibly dip below 2668, and we did not. We held it. We are above, see this right here? We are above the 200 MA and we are hovering right now. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at the RSI. Let's look at the RSI. And let's do this on the 4 hour. Okay. I I I'm still good, man. Like I'm not panicking right now. All right. I have this contract until January, okay? We got a nice bullish candle here, broke through this level, all right? And all of these wicks that you see. You see this wick here? You see this wick here? You see this wick here? All right, that means that the the price is respected at that level. Um, it just didn't have enough um, buyers to maintain this level, okay? But there is price action, all right, up here at 27.43, okay? There's price action here at 27.20. All right, we've been there a couple of times. See it right here, 27.20 or in that range. Okay, so what I expect to have happen now, okay, I expect tomorrow. You see this right here? We see how we have a wick that's touching our level. All right, man, we have a wick right here touching our level. All right, but we gapped up. All right, we gapped up. So we had to come back and fill that gap. All right, we filled that gap. We filled this gap right here. This is the gap I'm talking about. We filled that gap. Okay, we have retested this level here on the low side. Now we have to go back and retest 27.42. So let's go ahead and do our due diligence. Let's go ahead and put an alert here. Because see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be watching the charts. I'm going to have my alert is set. Let me make sure it's for price. Yep, price above. So when price hits this level, I'm actually going to bring it down just a touch. Let me zoom in. Let me bring it down just a touch here. Where are we at? Where are we at? 27.43. Yeah. Okay, so let's bring it down just a little bit. So we want to catch it. We want the alert a little bit before it hits that level, okay? Because what's going to happen is when it hits 27.43, it's going to either get smacked down and come back down, or it's going to go, okay? So being that we got two contracts this time, I'm selling my first contract at 27.43. So set your alerts on your charts, guys. Set your alerts 27.43 on Carnival. That's our first target. Okay. After we sell at 27.43, we're going to leave our runner. Okay. We're going to leave our runner. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our stop loss at break even on our runner, which means we're going to give it plenty of room that it could come all the way back down to here, okay, before we lose the trade, which will be fine because we're going to break even. We're not going to lose any money, okay, but we're going to also give it room to do all of this consolidating crap that it likes to do. If it does that, okay, but if it does that, I'm still confident that it's going to break it eventually, okay? So we're going to sell at 27.43. We're going to leave our runner. And if it runs, we're going to move our stop loss up on our runner. Once it hits about, let's say 40, 50%, we're going to bring our stop loss up to 30%. Okay, that way, if it doesn't run all the way to 26, I'm tripping. It's already going to hit 20. I'm already going to be at 26. Where are we at? Where are we at? I'm on the wrong stock. I'm thinking about lift. Our level is 30. I'm tripping. Our level is 30, right? 28. I'm sorry. 28.82. 28.82. So if the stock doesn't run all the way to 28.82, and it decides to pull back, we'll at least be able to grab 30%. Okay. We'll grab 30% and then we can re-enter. All right. We don't want it to turn red, right? We don't want it to be 40, 50% profit and then have it come all the way down to 10%. You know what I mean? And then eventually that sucker just turned red. Now we just sitting for days without making money. I'd rather take my 30% on what is it tomorrow, Wednesday? I'd rather take my 30% on Wednesday and then buy back in on Thursday. You get what I'm saying? Versus leave my position open and then Thursday comes, we didn't make any money Wednesday because it came down. And then Thursday, now we're waiting for it to pull back, or we might miss it, it might gap up, all kind of things can happen. All right. So that's the plan though. All right, sell the first contract, 27.43, leave a runner, let it go all the way up to 28. Then we take profit at 28.82 for our second position. All right, that's the play. Okay. Outside of that, let's look at NVDY. Let's look at NVDY. All right, NVDY is still trading in between these two levels, between 17.5 and 14. All right, which I know those are big levels. It's a big gap, but that's the way that this stock moves. All right. It moves very slow, which is why I like it because it's very stable. All right. So when it comes down, you have time to buy. We're still below on the 30 minute, but let's look at the 4 hour. 4 hour, we might be hovering around at 200 MA. So let's see. So yeah. So we have a gap fill coming up. All right. So we gapped up here. So tomorrow could be a fill of that gap. We could come back down, fill that gap, and then go. Or we could just go and we could fill that gap somewhere later next week. Um, so hopefully you were able to buy some shares of NVIDIA while it was on sale because it looks like it wants to go. It looks like it wants to go back up to 17. And once it goes to 17, once it breaks 17.5, we want a new highs. All right. Once we go to new highs, it's going to be a while before we come back down to 14 and $15. So I've been grabbing all that I can while I can. Royal Caribbean is another one. I've been buying, starting to buy. All right, Royal is down. You see this? It's way down here right now. Royal was up to 360, 365 a share. All right, so go ahead, man. If you can, get you some fractional shares. You don't have to buy a full share. You can just buy $100 worth. Buy $20 worth, whatever. Set your account to automatically buy $5 every single day while it's down. There's all kind of ways you can do this. Okay. We also have QUBT. Okay. I'm still holding QUBT. All right. It's down $11 now. Man, if we can get Carnival to go tomorrow, I'm gonna take my winnings from Carnival and I'm moving it over to QUBT. All right. BITO. Is it back down? Oh, BITO is trying to make its way back down. Okay. I love to see it. I love to see it. Okay. A little gap fill here. Okay. But we got a nice green candle off the last support. Okay. So we could see this come back down to 15.29. That's what I would like to see. And I'm going to grab some shares there and maybe even grab a leap on some options. I'm gonna do one more. Nike. There it is. I've been waiting for that. Man, I just can't get in it right now. But Nike's back down 59.87. We didn't quite hit this level, but man, it's that's a good one. You can buy shares right now or you can buy leaps. Um, it is ready to go. It is ready to go, guys. Look at that. Look at that. It's going to go. It's going to go to 65 or 66.10. Okay. So that's a $4 move. Okay. You can make a couple $100 off of that. Look at what the RSI is on the daily. Okay. Extremely oversold. All right. And we're coming up. Look at that shark fin. Okay. Let's see what this MACD looks like. Okay, the MACD is still low. The MACD is still red. All right, we're still below zero. We're in the negative, but we have a crossover forming. It hasn't formed yet. All right, but it is forming. I bet you we got it on the 4 hour. Boom, there it is. All right, but we need to get above zero. Okay, so we need to get above zero. But I believe that if you wanted to go ahead and get some exposure, you can grab one contract on Nike, 6 months out, and leave room to add back down here because we're probably going to retest this 59.68, or we'll retest this what is this, the 9 day 8 day MA. We could come back down and retest that. That's about 61.77. That's a $2 drop. So either wait for the $2 drop or go ahead and buy. And then if it falls, you can add to that position. Okay. And ride it all the way up to 66.10. All right. That's all I got for you guys right now. Um, I hope you guys are making money. If you made some money, make sure you drop those screenshots down in the Discord for me in that profit and loss column. And if you got any stocks that you are looking at or you want me to look at and see what I think, please put it in the trade chat, the trading room chat. And invite some people to the chat. Invite some people who are serious about trading, so we can share ideas and continue to grow the community. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you got something out of it. And let's keep making this money. God bless you and your family. Till next time, peace.